Hey everyone, this is Doug Kenny along with my coach and mentor, actor Andy McPhee, and we welcome Tim Murphy to Relentless and Unstoppable. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Kenny. Good to be here, Yourself and
Yeah,
Andy.
good to see that face, that Irish face, and I'm sure most people watching this will recognise Tim. He is an incredible human being and an amazing actor, and I've had the opportunity to work alongside him in our, I think it was 3 parts, Epson's Criminal Minds. Tim was the amazing, mean boss,
Ah,
and sadly he didn't look after me. I got killed, but I let that go very quickly. And today we've got Tim on here because we're talking about horse therapy, and Tim has connected up with some people in Los Angeles who help veterans out with horse therapy. So that's why we're here. And thanks, Tim, for making the time to jump on and chat to us about that. Can you
oh.
share a little bit about how these you got to meet these guys?
Well, and Andrews, who was in the Navy, and Jr. His buddy who was in the Marines. They saw me on Instagram and they followed me and they contacted me and said what they were about, and it's called Warriors Road. And they help. Basically, they have horses and in Silmar in Los Angeles, and they take veterans out, riding horses as a form of equine therapy, especially for veterans with PTSD. And it seems to be really helping them. As I think there's a lot of information on it online, how it helps. I'm not an expert in it or anything, but anything that helps people with having trouble is good in my mind. So I've gone out with them a bunch of times, and we rode up the hills not too long ago, and I had the family out there this past weekend, and Andre was kind enough to put my daughter Saoirse on a horse and ride around. So
Ah,
that was great therapy just for the kids alone, and for myself.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, is he actually a therapist, or is he's just a guy who knows horses back to front?
I wouldn't be now. I'm not sure about that. I don't think he is a therapist. I think he has horses and he brings veterans out, to be around horses and go riding with them. And he's certainly a fine gentleman as far as I'm concerned. And but whether he's a therapist or not, I'd have to call him or ask him. Or if you guys had him on the show, maybe you can ask him those relevant questions.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's very similar to an interview we did a while back. A friend of mine, Nick Barkler, who's an actor in Australia and a screenwriter, and he's done a lot of documentaries. His main passion was boxing, and he's done a lot of the great boxers' documentaries. And he did one on Arturo a while back. And he's just done one on horse therapy, and it took him 2 to 3 years, I think. And very similar, this guy in Australia he's just knows horses like it's his life. He's not a therapist, but what he started doing was getting a few of his mates who are ex-veterans who are struggling to come out and start taking care of the horses, looking after them and riding them. And he's had some incredible breakthroughs with these guys who are basically, to be really honest, were going to take their own lives. They were at the end of their road. They didn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And I can't tell how many lives he saved. And one of the biggest things he said, and you probably know, Tim, because you around horses quite a bit with, filming, etc. If you have got something going on in you, you're nervous or scared or a bit angry, that horse will know immediately. Like, they're just so sensitive.
So true, so true. I mean, it's just like acting, and it's what acting teachers very often can teach you, relaxation. Because if you're relaxed, I think with most things, if you're relaxed around a horse, I mean, I've been very nervous around horses at the beginning when I'd have to do a western and charge fast on a horse, and I wasn't used to it. You're holding on for dear life sometimes. And now, like, it's and my daughter was a bit nervous the last day, and it's trying anything new, you're a bit nervous, and then dealing with mental problems as well because of the wars. You're a bit messed up, but if you can relax, and a horse actually a relaxed horse will make you relaxed as well, you know.
Yes.
And it's you know, because there's no judgment there from a horse or anything. And I find it great therapy just for myself, just riding up a hill or something, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so true what you just said about the horse has no judgment. And that was one of the big things that came out of the documentary, that this guy's saying, look, you'll be sitting in your head with whatever's going on, but the horse does not have anything going on. And the minute you are relaxed, that horse will start to come to you. There was one particular guy there who was really, really struggling, and the horse just kept staying away from him. And he said to the guy, why is the horse not coming here? He said, because he can feel you. He can feel you got anxiety. He can feel you afraid. So when you just relax and just don't try to do anything or be anything, just be there, that horse will come to you. And over weeks, next thing, he's feeding the horse, he's brushing it down. They started riding it. And I think he had about 5 guys on this program, and it went over quite a few years. And one of the particular guys, he was very quiet, very into himself. And this gentleman said to him, listen, he said, you've been here a while, but you don't talk to many people. He said, you're doing well. He said, but you're just very within. He said, can I ask you, is there a problem or something? He goes, no. He said, I'll tell you the truth. He goes, I didn't think this was going to work. And he said, before I came here, he said, I had a grave dug for myself out in the bush, in the forest. And he said, if this didn't work, he said, that was it, mate. He said, that's where I was going. He said, because I can't deal with this anymore. And 2.5 years later, that's filled in with dirt, and he's still there looking up. I think one of the guys started their own horse therapy camp for veterans as well.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, it's amazing. Doug, I'm sure you have some questions for Tim.
Yeah, Tim, how is the horse therapy industry going for you? Do you enjoy it?
I mean, I'm not really in the horse therapy industry. I just know these guys, and but I mean, for me personally, going out riding a horse and being relaxed when you're riding a horse, there's nothing like it. And as Andy was saying about that, telling the story about that veteran, and he all, you know, when a person is all keyed up or whatever, the horse is staying away from him. But I noticed that myself over the years. If you're relaxed and you even turn your back to a horse, eventually, very often that horse will just walk right up to you, you know, because he's not nervous of you either, staring him down. So he might just come up and start nuzzling you. But if you're just facing him all tense and all that, he probably won't go near you, you know. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
That's very interesting. So, what do you know about how has it impacted other people that you know? Do they enjoy it?
I mean, the two guys I know, the two vets, Andre and JR, that run this place, Warriors Road. They're certainly two of the nicest guys I've met in a long time, and they're down to earth. They have great stories. JR actually grew up in a very very rough place, and as a kid in Brooklyn, Brownsville, in Brooklyn, and he was in the foster care program for most of his life. He is like heartrending stories when I got talking to him personally, and and then he's doing this with Andre, helping people and having had such a tough life, and then joining the Marines and coming out of that and being such a positive man. And his kid Kingston is such a lovely kid. You know, it's great to see that coming from such a tough environment, and to come out such a good person in a lot of ways, you know. So yeah, because we all have adversities, whether it's in our head or whether it's physical or whatever. I mean, I had a very bad stutter when I was a kid. I couldn't talk till I was 16, and I preferred to be beaten by the teachers than have the embarrassment of stuttering in front of the class, you know. And so
Wow.
we all have our cross to bear in some ways, and I was bullied because of it, obviously, and which I hate bullying now. And my main attributes of a human being would be, it wouldn't be courage or anything like that. It would be to be kind and to be you know, empathetic to people, you know, and just to be a nice, decent person, you know.